Hello everyone, and welcome to Can I Beat Pokemon Violet with only Fuecoco. This is a semi-blind playthrough, so I'll get lost on what to do a lot. But I start off by selecting Fuecoco and naming him Jalapeno. He's timid nature, so more speed, less attack. The first battles against our rival Nimona went easy due to her picking Sprigatito. At the school, we're given the choice to start the Titan quest or a gym. I decided to start by challenging the gyms. On the way to the first gym, we catch ourselves a full-out shiny Starly. Katie, the first gym leader, is a bug specialist. On our first attempt, it was raining, which caused us to lose. But after some training, we retried her, and it was sunny, thankfully. Nimble and Tarantula were both one-shots with Terra Boost and Ember. And last is Teddiursa. Teddiursa's Terra form was bugged, but it still managed to survive Ember. Its Fury Swipes took Jalapeno to half health, and it started raining, but one more Ember took it out. Next up, we decided to go check up on Arven, per Nimona's suggestion. But Cloth, the Rock-type Titan, was too much for us, so it's on to the next gym. Brassius, the Grass-type gym leader, was pretty easy. Petalil and Smoliv easily went down to Incinerate. Sudowoodo, who turned into a Grass type, survived Incinerate, and we luckily survived Rock Throw on 7 HP, which allowed us to take it out. I decided to retry Cloth. To defeat Cloth, the secret was yawn. Once asleep, 4 Terra boosted Incinerates caused Cloth to enter its second phase where it eats an Herba Mystica. For phase 2, Arven joins us with Shelter. We start with Yawn again, and just keep hitting Cloth back and forth with Incinerate and Water Gun until Cloth goes down. With Cloth down, we find our first Herba Mystica, which when eaten by Miraidon, allows him to dash. That'll be really useful when traversing the map, but our next destination is pretty close. The Team Star Fire Base. Here, we discover an issue. The Team Star bases require a minimum of 3 Pokemon, and Magikarp, with every move deleted except Splash, still attacks in auto battles. To combat this, I decided to do some breeding. Everyone, say hello to Serrano and Poblano. The Pepper Crew make their way through the Team Star base and into the boss battle of Mela. Toko went down to 2 flamethrowers, but then out came Reverie in the form of Mela's Starmobile. Flamethrower did less than expected, but Reverie used 2 Screeches. I switched to Serrano to get rid of the Screeches, but then Serrano went down to Blazing Torque. I switched back to Jalapeno and went for 3 Mud Slaps. The damage was low, but the accuracy drop was huge. Reverie then started to spam Swift, but it wasn't doing much damage. A bunch of flamethrowers eventually take out Reverie. The third gym, the Electric Gym, is our next stop. There was a Nimona battle before, but I discovered you're not required to win. I reset to win the battle though, because I could, but it was not needed. For Iono, Watchel was a one-shot. Bellybolt hit us with Water Gun, but it was a 2-hit KO. Luxio was a one-shot, and that was Miss Magius, who took 2 flamethrowers. Going north of the city, we found our next Titan, Orthworm. I'm not even going to say anything, just watch. So yeah, this Herba Mystica gave Miraidon the ability to jump higher. That will certainly help with getting out of this quarry. We also learned the real reason Arven is looking for the herbs, to help heal his partner, Mabostiff. Mabostiff was hurt to the point the Pokésters can't help, so it helped the doggo we go. Next is the Poison Team Star base, but we just get destroyed. Let's go head back west. There we find Bombardier, our next Titan. 2 Thunderfangs took it to phase 2, where it still went down to 2 turns. With the Bird Titan defeated, Miraidon can now swim. Odd choice. Flying would have made more sense. Shortly past the Bird Titan is our next Team Star base, which is led by Giacomo, a Dark-type trainer. Pioneer was an easy one-shot, and last was Giacomo's Starmobile, which was only level 20? The Starmobile spammed Snarl, so it was a forward KO. Okay, we're now at a point where I am lost. The Team Star Poison Leader is too strong. I'm too scared to try the Water Gym. And the normal type gym leader Larry's Komala is a freaking beast. I thought I could do the Ice Gym, but no. Frostmont sets up Tailwind, which allows Beardick to outspeed and one-shot us with Earthquake. Eventually, we made our way to Iron Treads, the ground type. One Flamethrower ends phase 1. On phase 2, our Flamethrower does huge damage, but it was Arvid Scovillain who got the kill. With this, Miraidon can now glide. I decided to try the normal gym again. Komala thankfully missed its slam, so it went down with us still at full health. The Dunsparce glared us, but our Flamethrower burnt it, which is how it went down because we were paralyzed. Last is Staraptor. We were paralyzed the first turn, but that didn't matter, as Staraptor was a one-shot. Next is our reattempt at Atticus, the Poison Team Star Leader. But at this point, Jalapeno is almost twice his team's level. Also, I found out if you retry the leaders, you can enter the base with only one Pokemon. All of Atticus' Pokemon were one-shots, and last was the Starmobile. 3 Flamethrowers took it out. When thinking about what to do next, I discovered that the Ghost Gym was actually a lower level than the Ice Gym, so I decided to try it out. The gym leader, Ryan, does double battles. By the way, sorry for the bright screen, but PSA, do not challenge Rhyme in the daytime. I decided to add Poblano to the team, just for Bayonet and Mimikyu to double into him and take him out. 2 Snarls took up Annette and left Mimikyu at half health. Houndstone went down to a Terra boosted Flamethrower, and last was Toxicity. By the way, the crowd had been giving us stat boost. It's cool to see a mechanic return from Sword and Shield. Mimikyu goes down to Snarl, while Toxicity required one more. Following the gym was a battle with Nemona, but Lycanroc only used the Cell Rocks, so it went down to 2 digs. The rest of our team were easy one-shots. The second gym is next. Farigiraf was a one-shot. We started with a Snarl against Gardevoir to power down Psychic. Flamethrower took it out. Espathra outsped, but was a one-shot. Last was Florges. We started with the Snarl because Florges also had Psychic. Flamethrower left Florges on the Sliver and gave her a burn. She went down to the burn. Next was another Nemona battle, but I decided not to retry this one. Time for the Ice Gym. At level 71, we finally outsped Frostmaw, which allowed us to outspeed and one-shot Beardick. Titan survived the Flamethrower, so we got hit with Liquidation, but one more Flamethrower took it out. Last was Arteria, who was a one-shot. Finally, it's time for the Water Gym. Velusa went down to a crit Thunderfang. Voltria was a one-shot, but now our speed was down thanks to Gooey. Last was Carbonival, who required 2 Thunderfangs. With the gyms done and a newfound confidence, I go challenge the last Titan, and immediately got humbled. The secret to beating Dondozo was cheese. At the Delibird present, one can buy an Absorb Bulb, which raises a Pokemon's special attack when they are hit with a water move. This caused Dondozo's AI to only use Body Slam, which allowed us to win Phase 1. For Phase 2, Dodonzo primarily focused on Arven's Greedent, who was doing good damage with Takedown. Sadly, we could not take advantage of Tail Whip's defense drops. Following Dondozo, we encountered the true False Dragon Titan. That doesn't sound right, but you get what I mean. Next up is Tatsugiri. Tatsugiri was difficult. With it being Water Dragon, it had a 4 times resistance to fire. To win, we first had to spam Snarl. With Tatsugiri at -5 special attack, we go for Disarming Voice. Arven's Green finished off Tatsugiri. With this Urban Mystica, Miraidon can now climb walls, and Mabostiff can walk. Yay, we saved the doggo! Also, we get a call from Professor Churro, telling everyone to follow me on Twitter. Link in the description. Professor Churro needs Arvin and I to go to his lab. But first, let's finish Team Star. First, Ortega, the fairy boss. His Azumarill only used Charm, so it went down to 2 flamethrowers. Wigglytuff was a one-shot. Dashman's ability nullifies fire moves, but 2 Hyper Voices take it out. Last was Ortega's Starmobile, who went down to 3 flamethrowers. The last boss is Aerie, the fighting Team Star boss. She was really difficult. Her entire team outsped, and close combat hit like a truck. I needed a sandwich. An avocado sandwich specifically. This sandwich increased the spawns of Palmies and Pichus in the tutorial area. Taking them out will give us a lot of speed EVs. We also used up all of our Swift Feathers. We try Aerie again. We now outsped Toxicroak, who went a one-shot. It started raining, but a crit took out Passimian. Annihilate still outsped us, but used Fire Punch. It survived Flamethrower, which allowed it to use close combat, taking Jalapeno to half health. It went down to 1 more Flamethrower. Lucario was a one-shot, and last was Aerie's Starmobile. Our first Flamethrower left the Starmobile in barely green health, but then its high horsepower took us to red health. Our second Flamethrower completely destroyed the Starmobile, winning us our final boss battle. Let's go to the lab to check up on Arvin. Okay, so the professor needs Arvin and I to send him the Violet Book. He's in Area 0 in the Great Crater of Paldea. It's very dangerous, so Arvin proposed a battle. Now, Arvin's greeted New Earthquake, but that was not the scary part. Garganical resists fire, and its Stone Edge hits hard. Also, if I get past Garganical, Toadscroll outspeeds and uses Earth Power. At level 90, Greedit was a one-shot. Garganical missed its first Stone Edge, but landed its second. It went down to 3 flamethrowers. We now outspeed Toadscroll, so it was a one-shot. Cloyster and Scavella were also one-shots, and last was Mabosstiff, who went down to 2 flamethrowers. We now have to go about Team Star's big boss. But first was a battle with Director Clavel. This battle was impossible. No matter how much HP I had left, Pokeball absolutely killed us. Its Aqua Step increased its speed, so it always outsped us on its second turn. At level 100, Flamethrower was a 2-hit KO, but that speed boost is getting in our way. This is how the battle eventually went. First turn against Oranguru, we used an X special attack, failing the run, but 1 Flamethrower took it out. Houndoom went down to Hyper Voice. Against Poltergeist, we go for a second X special attack just to be safe. Poltergeist, Amoonguss, and Abomasnow were all one-shots. And last was Quaquaval, who went down to Flamethrower. Next up is Penny, the big boss of Team Star. Her Umbreon survived the Terra boosted Flamethrower, but its Dark Pulse was not that scary. It went down, and next was Vaporeon. Vaporeon's first Hydro Pump missed, thankfully, so we could lower its special attack with Snarl. At -2 special attack, Hydro Pump still did 100 HP damage. So we were in double digits when Vaporeon went down. Jolteon missed its Thunder, but it was a one-shot. 2 Digs took out Flareon, Leafeon was a one-shot, and last was Sylveon, who went down to 2 Flamethrowers. All that's left was the Elite Four. We first had to pass an interview with Rika, before going to the next room, where our first battle is against Rika. Before battling, I made sure to find the TM4 Seed Ball. She started with Rich Cash, who was a one-shot. Donphan survived the hit thanks to Sturdy, which allowed Donphan to use Stone Edge. It went down, and next was Dugtrio, who was a one-shot. Camerupt started with Yawn, but went down to 2 Hyper Voices. Our Lumberry negated the sleep, by the way. Last was Clodsire, who went down to 2 Seed Bombs. Our next opponent was Poppy, who used Steel-type Pokemon, so she was easy. Magnezone survived thanks to Sturdy, and Tinkaton managed to take a hit, but there was no issue. Next up was Larry, who used flying types for his Elite Four battles. His team started off as a bunch of one-shots until Terria, who took 2 Hyper Voices. Last was Flamigo, who went down to Flamethrower. The last Elite Four member was Hassel, a Dragon Trainer. This was another battle where I needed to use an item. We started with an X special attack against Norver, since it always started with Super Fang. A crit Flamethrower took it out. Dragology, Haxorus, and Flapple all went down to Flamethrower, and last was Baxcalibur. Baxcalibur's ability made it stronger if it was hit with the fire move, so I had to use Hyper Voice. Despite our X special attack, Baxcalibur survived Hyper Voice. It went down next turn. With the Elite Four done, it's time to battle top champion Gita. Her team was actually easy, but Glamora was a complete stonewall. It turned itself pure rock, and it's got a chunky defense. We used an X special attack first turn, but this activated Espathra's Opportunist ability, which caused Lumina Crash to take Jalapeno to half health. It went down to Snarl. Avalugg and King Gambit both went down to Flamethrower. Veluza went down to Snarl. Against Go-Go, we go for a second X special attack, since one will not be enough for Glamora. Go-Go goes down to Flamethrower, and last was Glamora. Oh, and it started raining. Thankfully, Flamethrower still one-shots. However, the video does not end here. We now have a battle with Nimona. Lycanroc does almost 100 HP damage with Drill Run, but went down to 2 Seed Bombs. Earthworm was a one-shot. Gudra missed its first Money Water, which was a huge help since it was a 3-hit KO. The Dunsparce and Palma were both one-shots, and last was Meowscarada, who outsped and left us on 2 HP, but was a one-shot. Now, the story does not end here either, as you can tell by the lack of end credits. First, we have to go to Area 0 with Arven, Nimona, and Penny. There, we go to 4 research stations to unlock a door in the deepest area of the crater. At the door, we encounter a second Miraidon. The Miraidons apparently had a territorial conflict, which is why one of them left the crater. In the lab, we discovered Professor Turo was a robot, and the Violet Book was needed to destroy a time machine that was bringing future Pokemon into the crater. However, by trying to destroy the time machine, AI Turo will battle us. AI Turo uses all the version-exclusive Paradox forms. Now, I did assume all the Violet exclusives were Steel, just to find out Iron Moth is Poison Fire. So on the second attempt, dig one-shots. I then continued to go through Turo's team, mostly relying on Flamethrower. Defeating Turo activates a Phase 2, which locks all Pokeballs except Turo's. Turo then summons Miraidon, and we summon our own Miraidon since the ball was originally Turo's. Miraidon decides the battle. Now, I did not completely understand Terra Blast. I didn't know it was a normal type until the Pokemon terrestrialized, so I ended up having to use a potion before we could magically terrestrialize. Dragon type Terra Blast took out Miraidon, and we did not beat Pokemon Violet with only Fuecoco with no items in battle. If you liked this video, don't forget to like and subscribe.